is a place I used to know. This is the house we used.
Hey there, this is Mike Munzing, Munzing Mortgage Group. It's time again for the foreclosure report. The numbers for August have come out, and I want to go over those. It's been a couple weeks since I've put a video out. Last week I took the red eye out Wednesday night to catch my wife out there in DC. She'd been out there on business, and it was kind of exciting. Landed early in the morning on Thursday, made my way here to the Capitol building because I had a meeting set up with Senators Ensign and Reed. That was kind of fun. Now the next picture, a little bit blurry, but it was fun. This is where John Ensign's kicking Harry Reid out of the picture so we can have a picture together. I go way back with John and his wife, and they're good folks. But hey, it is time to kind of cover the foreclosure numbers for August 2009. Each month, I try to review the previous month's numbers. Foreclosures have been a big part of our market for quite some time now. They've lessened just a bit, being that the banks are holding on to the properties, and I'll cover a little bit about that later. But let's take a look at what's going on with the notices of default, the notice of trustee sales, and the actual foreclosures here in California. I use the numbers from a group by the name of Foreclosure Radar. Sean O'Toole and the folks up north do a fantastic job getting the information out. Behind me is the report that is on my website. They post it every month, and then I put it on my website every month. You can go through all the details. You might want to pause this video, print this report out, and follow along with me. The first chart I want to show you here is the notice of default chart for August. Once again, I'm going to run through these rather quickly. There's not a lot of exciting news going out right now because of some of the government involvement, you might say. But those numbers dropped for the notices of default, that first stage of the foreclosure process. After somebody's approximately 90 days late or more, the lender will generally file a notice of default. Those are 36,396. You can see over to your right here on the screen. And that is a drop of about 19.11%. The next chart I'm going to bring up are the notice of trustee sales. This is after it was 90 days. They've extended that substantially longer, where the banks file the notice of trustee sale to let the borrower know that there's going to be a foreclosure auction on his home. And that is now at 33,362. which is also a drop of about 15.1%. These numbers have been held down once again by encouragement of the government to try to work out loan modifications, and they're getting involved in other ways. Finally, I want to show you the actual homes that were sold at auction in California. 17,829 for the month of August. That is actually up 3.42. July had a little dip. Now we're edging just up a little bit, and those numbers are the ones that are actually being sold at auction. Now, a couple of the other numbers I want to cover here with you, let me go through the report, a couple highlights, is that the number of properties that are being sold to third parties, that's up 22%. These prices are getting lower and lower. The numbers are coming down to the auctions, and 22.3% is the increase of third-party buyers, but 81.4% of those properties brought to auction are still going back to the original lenders. The opening bids from the investors are now at about averaging 39.5% of the original loan balance that the lender holds the properties at, those were about 80% loan to value originally. So 39.5% of the loan balance. And the big number, this is the telling number that I'm finding, is those properties currently scheduled for auction. They're being held off, they're being delayed, but 131,300 properties, an increase of 5.1% over last month, are currently being scheduled for sale. The government's holding them off, but they're currently scheduled to be sold at foreclosure in California. And this is the big number. That is an 89.1% increase over just 1 year ago. So we've got a fairly big backlog of properties waiting to go through the foreclosure process or finish up the foreclosure process. Okay, on this video this week, I'm going to be tying in addition to the foreclosure information, Stephen Thomas's information, because he's got some highlights here, what's happening in our Orange County market. Certainly the foreclosure report is for all of California. Let's dig into Orange County. I'm going to give you just real quick some of the highlights that Stephen brought out. He has a whole list of them here, but let's cover some. The hot part of the market, basically below 750,000, even hotter below 500,000. I've covered that before. That's where the lending is. That's where the FHA financing is. That's where the Fannie Mae Freddie Mac financing is. Don't forget, the loans over 417 have only temporarily been extended to 729, 750. We need to hope and pray that the government extends that on through there. Another area is that the listing inventory has dropped substantially. And I keep covering this. The lenders are hanging on to those foreclosures. Either sellers are also in more of a negative equity position where they may not be able to get out of those homes, but the listing inventory has dropped down to just over 8,000, and that's about 5,000 properties below just 1 year ago. So it's a very low number. Another trend right now that the properties on the inventory are low, as he put, cash is king. I know you and I, the realtors that I work with, and your buyers, we're doing a lot of FHAs right now. I do know that FHAs are having a little bit of trouble in bidding wars because A, we need to keep the appraised value there, and that's been a little bit of a problem. But also, those with heavy cash, investors, are taking the advantage on that. But as we cover a little bit later, we are expecting more properties to hit the market Q1 of 2010. Though there is a pent-up demand, I think we'll be in good shape there. Foreclosure properties. Even though right now there's only 334 properties in Orange County currently on the market as a foreclosure, and they're basically on the market for about 0.66 months, so a little over half a month on the market. They're still extremely hot, but we are seeing some more of those coming down the pipe. There's definitely a backlog. They're being held off the market. But sooner or later, those are going to be coming down the pipe, and our buyers are going to be able to take advantage of that. Because of that, the foreclosure properties that are hitting the market are selling for 103% of the listing price. So that's an interesting number. Remember, we still do have to get that appraised value, but those who are coming in heavy cash, that's not as much a problem. Sometimes they do know that they are buying the property for over what the appraised value comes in at. The one area that's really taken a hit, the lower price properties are hot. They're not dropping in price, or excuse me, they're not jumping in price, but they are leveling off. The higher price homes, we're starting to see those properties drop at a much higher rate, and we're starting to see more of the distressed sales coming in the higher priced properties. I've said for quite a while now, those big oceanfront, the beach properties, are starting to be kind of like a three-legged stool with one leg kicked out. The market, the financing, the availability of the financing is not in that area right now. The exotic loan programs are gone. The stated income programs are gone. So everybody has to qualify. 2 years taxes. That does make it tough in those bigger properties, because so many of those were sold to doctors, lawyers, self-employed folks, and that financing is very, very difficult. Anything new. Government pressure coming down the pipe even more, pushing the lenders to go more for short sales rather than letting the properties go to foreclosure, with the idea that the properties will be in better shape. There's going to be less money spent on fixing up properties, and in a way it helps the sellers as well. They can get out of the property. Their credit is not hurt quite as bad, but short sales are being pushed more than letting these properties go to foreclosure, and we'll see what happens with that. Also, because of that, the pending sales numbers, the homes that are in escrow and pending sales, the time and the numbers of those have increased because of those short sales. because they take a lot longer to get through, and that's extending that number. So very interesting information from Stephen, and I hope you enjoyed that. That was helpful. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that information. There's a lot of numbers in there, a lot of information. You can see where the trends are going. Once again, my name is Mike Munzing. I've been a lender out in Orange County here, down here in San Clemente now, for the last 20 years. Have a great week. Give me a call. I'll be working this weekend, so I'm here for you if you run into any new buyers. But once again, have a great week. God bless you. God bless your family. Take care. Bye-bye.
This is the house we